February 4th, 2026, and today I have dealt with a series of events that are traumatizing. One of them being I woke up, well, I was sleeping on the ground because I got hit in the head with something when I was taking a nap somewhere else. And then I moved from that destination to another destination because I woke up with a headache and I was like, that's weird. Because I don't wake up with headaches and I don't drink. So there was no reason for me to wake up with a headache. And then I ended up laying down on the ground because I was obviously tired and have a mild concussion. Um, but I woke up from that and I felt completely violated because I'm very self aware. My body, I can't explain it, but when you study anatomy and are around sociologists at a young age, you learn things about your body that I feel like most people are unaware of. But so I woke up and I know that I was sexually harassed in my sleep, probably by multiple people, as it relates to domestic terrorism. And I woke up upset, but I also woke up with can't explain, like a new state of mind um, about the reality of this situation. And then I decided I was going to go to this um, police station and ask, like, how can I, get these perpetrators prosecuted? But before I could get there, I needed to use the restroom because as a homeless person, you don't have access to public bathrooms or a restroom or any way to maintain your hygiene. And so I went to um, Everett Station, and because I was on my way to where I was going to the police station. And as soon as I walked into the bathroom, this security guard and this lady were standing there. The lady was eating something, just like eating, kind of like, I don't know, just eating, but it was like I can't remember I have a mild concussion, I know that for a fact, but I can't remember the word. Um, Eating, and when I walked into the bathroom, the guy said, "I'm not doing this with you today," and he like stepped on. I have this little string on my wagon, and he stepped on it, and I was like, "What is he talking?" So I just kept walking because I don't have time for the bullshit. So I just kept walking because I was like, "I don't know this man. Clearly, he knows me." But I was unaware of who he was, and so I just kept walking to his restroom, and then he started calling for backup, like this is not the 1920s, nigga. I mean, but this is not the 1920s. And I was just like, I can't use the bathroom. I mean, so then I used the restroom and um and then another guy, but he walked into the bathroom. Like this man, this security man walked into the bathroom with me. And I was just like, what? Like either way I'm going to use the bathroom. Either it's going to be on the floor in the bathroom or it's going to be in the toilet. So, and then some guy with a beard came in and they started calling for backup like I was disturbing the peace or something. And I was just like, what is going on? Like it was too much. So then I called the cops and they told me to stay like at the station just so they can make contact with me. If the cops tell you to do something, just do it. And so I did, and then, but okay, let me go back. Again, I have mild concussion, but so I walked into the bathroom. I used the restroom. I was on the phone with the cops as I was finishing using the restroom. Like once I was done using the restroom, and then I walked out to see this guy with a beard in the bathroom, just standing there with a walkie-talkie, like calling for backup. And I was like, "What are they calling backup for? Like I'm using the restroom." Like it said, like there's a restroom in a station, and it's an Amtrak station, which is, I was like, Amtrak, I've never had a problem with Amtrak until I broke up with two of my exes, and that's another story. But so then I walked out of the bathroom, and as I was walking out of the bathroom, the guy with the beard was like, "You're not welcome here," and I was like, "Okay," and he's like, "And you're not a part of something." He said like it was almost like he was blacklisting me from some group that I'm not a part of. So I was like, I just was like, whatever. And I kept walking out. And then because the police told me on the phone to stay there, I went outside because I was not welcome there and stayed outside. And then he came outside with two other people, two other security guards in like blue, and they were writing something talking about we're going to get trespass and da 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 da. And I was just like, okay. Um, and then they started, they were filling out their little paperwork, and I was just looking I was like, whatever. So then I started recording, and he was holding some sign, and I could tell he he had a concealed weapon, um, in his back, like the holster that goes around your waist, but you can't see that it's a weapon because I can't explain it, but it's like one of those holsters that it's a really good holster. I could tell he had one. He had a firearm like down his spine, kind of, to where he could just grab it and shoot. And so I didn't say shit to him. And I was just like, because he was ready to shoot a nigga, you know what I mean? So I was just like, I'm not going to say anything. I will wait for the cops to get here. Then the cops got there, and they were all nice and stuff. And he was like, oh, we can offer you a bus pass. Just tell us where you're going. I was like, it was just weird. And then I was like, can I get 2 bus passes? Like, well, I have to know where you're going so then we can, because there are multiple buses there. So I was like, okay. But then they asked for my name, but I was like, if y'all already know, like, it was just weird. And I was like, no, thank you. I just need to get on the bus and go. And they're like, okay, you can wait at the bus stop here at the station, at the Everett bus station. Just, go to which bus stop. And I wanted to go to Mount Vernon, so I was taking the 90X. And then he was like, you're not waiting for the 90X. And I was like, yes, I am. But before that, he said, before the cops came out, he was like, oh, you have to leave this area. And I was like, but I'm following orders from the radio person that told me when I called the cops to stay here. Like, the cops didn't tell you to stay here. And I was like, okay, we'll see. And then I was like, why would I be sitting here if they didn't tell me? Like, I would have just left, and got on the bus because the bus was leaving and that was the bus I needed to take. So I was just like, I didn't really hold that conversation with, a stupid person. So I was just like, okay, we'll see. And then he started talking about how, like, I'm going to go to jail and people don't follow rules and all this stuff, just random stuff. And I was just like, and then stayed on the radio and kept saying, yeah, she's still here and I don't know why. And I'm going to be glad when the cops come and take her. And I was just looking at him like, what is, like, he must not had his coffee today. But I didn't say anything. I was just sitting there. And then the cops came, and then they offered me and then the guy with the beard that was so rude and so aggressive was like, oh yeah, I can give you a bus pass, tell me where you're going, da da da. And I was like, that was scary. It was like, that was really scary. And then the cops said I could leave, and then I went to the bus stop and I waited, and then that's when he came over with other, like, backup or whatever, and was like, you're not waiting for this bus. And I was like looking at him like, how the fuck, like, what do you mean I'm not waiting for this bus? And then I went to a different bus stop because I found a different way to go to where I was going. So then I was like, okay, I'll go to a different bus stop. And then I went to another bus stop, and then he followed me there and said, I'm going to get your trespass. After the cops left. Then, because the cops stayed there for a second. And then he was like, you're not allowed here. And I just told you you're trespassed, da 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 da. And I was just like looking at him like, what? It was just weird. And then I went to another bus stop because there's multiple ways to get to one place. So I went to another bus stop and I waited there, and then he called the cops again. So I called the cops because I was just like, what is going on? And the cops came, and they were like, oh, you're trespassing, so you have to leave. And if you come back, within 60 days, you're going to be arrested. And I was like, these people are really, they keep saying they're the system, but they're part of the pipeline, the corruption in the pipeline. And I was just like looking at them. I was like, okay, I'll leave. And as I was leaving, there was a cop there that was African American, and he put on his gloves like he was ready to go hands on as I'm walking away. I was just like, do they not know protocol? Like, did they not go to the academy and take notes and really, like, comprehend what it means to be in public service? Because they were just so aggressive. And they just were like, I was just like, ugh. And then I went across the street, and then I guess like a patrol car or whatever for the bus stop was there, and it was a lady in the car, and he was talking to the lady the whole time, just taking up space to where the bus drivers couldn't even do their job, like just ignorant and just defiant. I don't know if he was a manager or supervisor or what, but and I was just like, wow. And then, so I went, and then once the cops got there and all that, I went across the street, and they were just watching me, like waiting for me to jaywalk to arrest me. And I was just like, this is I have never in my life dealt with so much racism within an hour. Like, I felt like Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman, Madam C.J. Walker. Like, I just felt like I was just like being attacked at every angle. I was like, this is crazy. And then I went, there's like a bus station connected to that bus station, but it's not the Everett station. So I went over there and they were still like watching, like from the corner, like, and he had his hand. I was just like, he was ready to kill somebody that day. And then I got to my destination and then I was harassed by someone. Someone jumped off because I was going to go somewhere and then I ended up going somewhere else. And then someone jumped off the bus and just started like walked in front of me and started walking real slow. So I stepped on his shoes because like, walk faster. Why are you walking in front of me and then walking slow on purpose just so I can talk to you? And then he turned around and I'm like, and then started saying, oh, you stupid bitch, you're a piece of shit. And I was just like, wait a second. Like, what? Like, it was a lot all at once. Like, most people could not deal with what I dealt with just today. Yeah, so I have court tomorrow. And the three options that, because it's Bellevue versus me versus Holyfield. And the three options that what is it called? The city prosecutor gave my attorney to share with me. So she's sharing his notes with me. And they were so aggressive and so biased and so, I can't think of the words right now, but it has to do with intimidation. It's basically, it's all threatening. So like the first one was, oh, you just do anger management and then your case is dismissed. This is not getting dismissed. This is not getting dismissed. And then it's not getting dismissed that way by me taking responsibility for other people's actions. That's not going to happen. That's not an option. And then the second one was, what was it? It was like something, and either way I have to do anger management, but I'm not the one that needs anger management. These people need to go back to school, relearn what they learned, because they don't know the new laws. It seems like they're just like, they don't know the new laws. But the other one was like something like it's not community service, but it was something else that just, I was like, where did this come from? And then the third one was, I'm gonna go to jail for 12 months, and then either way I have to do anger management. And the way that my attorney was saying it is, and this is an appointed attorney, so I'm not surprised. But the way that my attorney was saying it was like, and she was reading the notes. These are not things that she was just saying as if she agrees. She was reading stuff like, oh, so it says you're gonna spend 12 months in jail and you're still gonna have to do the anger management. And I was just like, when, like, I just can't comprehend the like, where's this anger management class coming from? You know, like, it's seeing how there's a lot of injustice in the justice system makes me wonder a lot of things. But I can only imagine what other women have gone through that were defending themselves in a violent situation against a man and had to take responsibility for his consequences. You know, like hearing what my attorney was telling me, that's what I was thinking when she was telling me. I was like, this doesn't sound like justice. It sounds like reverse justice, like counterproductive justice. Like I just wonder how many women are in jail or in prison because they had to defend themselves against a man trying to kill them, or against a man like harassing them or stalking them or raping them or something, you know, and then they have to take the responsibility for that. It's like, I don't know, but I have court tomorrow, and at 9:45 at Bellevue Courthouse on 114th. And I don't have any expectations. I just want to hear what they have to say, because None of it makes sense. And then I was on the bus and some guy, I actually had my headphones off. Like I didn't have them on. And I could hear my surroundings. And someone was saying, "Oh, it's all a joke and it's just a prank." This is not a prank. This is not a prank. This is not a joke. This is not whatever they're trying to say now. This is public corruption, and this is people playing with my life and using me as a sex object and committing hate crimes, among other things. But it's not a joke. It was never a joke. I never thought it was funny. Just because they made me the punchline doesn't mean it's a joke. Like, yeah. So that was my day. But yeah.